Troup Tigers football.
Hey, good evening and welcome to the Troup High Coaches Corner here live from Johnny's Pizza. I'm your host, Greg Hicks, along with head coach Tanner Glisson, and we're going to be talking about last Friday night's victory, a tough fought ball game, and we knew it was going to be against Cedartown, another region victory to take the Tigers to 8-0. What a great place to be, Coach.
Well, we're very fortunate to be 8-0, and winning is tough, so anytime you're able to win 8 in a row, that's really, really good. Really proud of our guys. I said last week it was going to take some guts to win that football game coming off the LaGrange game. Cedartown and us, we've had 3 really good games the last 3 years, and so we knew it was going to be tough, and our guys answered the call, and we were just ecstatic to get out of there with a victory.
You know, a lot of times your general fan will look and say, you know, Cedartown, look at their region record we're talking about. You know, they're 2-2. Going into that game, they were 2-1, and it's like, yeah, but then you say, well, look what they did against Cartersville. Well, we know what Cartersville can do. And it took Cartersville late in the game to actually win the ball game. 21-20, Cartersville, and just like they did for us, they missed a PAT. Now, had they made that PAT, that game could have feasibly gone into overtime.
Sure. Well, I really don't have an answer for that other than possibly just spoiled a little bit.
That's right.
I mean, winning is hard. It is extremely, extremely hard, especially when, you know, you're sitting there undefeated. And Cedartown had no reason, you know, to come in there scared. They were ready to play. They knew they could play with us. They played with us the last 2 years. And so we took their best shot, and we won the football game, and we moved on to 8-0. And you're going to, over the course of 10 games, you're probably going to have some of those.
That's
right.
And
to be honest with you, you probably need one or two.
Hey, Ohio State had one this weekend, didn't
Well, the good thing for us, though, is we were able to do it and still win the game.
And still win the game. That's
right.
And
so, you know, that's really, really crucial. You know, the Callaway game was a good game. You know, we were able to kind of get some breathing room right there toward the fourth quarter. But this game was actually going down to the last series. So that's really the first game all year long. Just going down to the last series, last minute, last 2 minutes. And you need a couple of games like that because if you don't have one now, you're going to surely have one soon.
And, you know, one of the things that a lot of fans didn't check up on is that that's the second time this year that the Tigers actually started the game down 7 points. So we had to actually come back in that game. Like Sandy Creek a few weeks ago. Right. It's the first time we'd actually seen a deficit.
Sure.
So it's I'm not saying I want to get in the habit of doing that.
Right.
But it's good that you reacted well to it.
And those guys have so much good tradition up there. They're really, really scrappy. They're really athletic, especially on defense. They gave us some trouble defensively. I feel like it was the best defense we've seen this year athletically, and they did some good things and were able to match up with us in some areas. And so, but it was a good challenge. You know, it was one of those games, too. They were hard-nosed, running the ball right at you type deal.
I was going to say, what's his Kirby? I'm trying to think of the kid's last name, but anyway, the tailback for Cedartown. I've had a lot of guys say, man, he was a hoss.
Yeah. Well, he's committed to West Virginia. So
okay,
he's a really good player. Number 4, and then number 2 has an offer from West Virginia. Their coaches were at the game Friday.
All right,
and rightfully so because he runs the ball extremely hard.
Hey, with that, you're listening to the Troup High Coaches Show live from Johnny's Pizza out here on the Parkway. You guys come on out and have some pizza with us. You're listening to Eagle Sports. We'll be right back.
Deciding to sell or buy a home is a big step. To make sure it's the step in the right direction, choose the person best qualified to handle your real estate needs. Joel and Rob Upchurch have been breaking sales records every year since 1997. They truly are the real estate leaders in West Georgia. So take a step in the right direction. Contact Joel or Rob Upchurch at RE/MAX Results because they are dedicated to results and converting transactions into relationships. Have you gotten your flu shot? Now is the time. Holmes Pharmacy is the place to get your flu shot. And if you have insurance, it could be free. So don't wait. Drive right up to Holmes Pharmacy and get your flu shot today at Commerce Avenue in LaGrange, inside the Piggly Wiggly at Lee's Crossing, and in Hamilton. And if your doctor feels you need a high-dose flu shot, Holmes Pharmacy has you covered.
Hi, I'm Perry Prather, pharmacist at Holmes Pharmacy. We have your flu shot ready, so come see me or any of my fine staff at Holmes Pharmacy today.
Hi, football fans. Jonathan Moose Mapp here from Glenn Smith in Opelika, Alabama. We love this time of year with all the excitement of football, and we also love that Glenn Smith can play a part in supporting high school sports. We support the team, the coaches, the band, the cheerleaders, and of course the families and the fans. At Glenn Smith, we're proud to be your local Chevrolet Buick and GMC dealer with over 500 new and used vehicles every day. Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. That's Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
There's a secret to beating injuries or ailments. Teammates listen and understand your specific condition and provide high-quality hometown care that will get you back into your game. For more information about Emory Southern Orthopedics team, visit www.southernorthopedics.com.
Now back to the Coach's Corner live at Johnny's New York Style Pizza on Eagle 102.3, WLAG 96.9 FM, 1240 AM, and online at eagle1023.com.
Hey, welcome back to Troup High Coach's Corner here live from Johnny's Pizza. I'm your host, Greg Hicks, along with head coach Tanner Glisson. And we've been, as we went to break, we were talking about, the strategies of what we're trying to do on offense and defense. We were giving kudos to the running back kid. And we just found out from Mr. Rodale Poole that the kid's a first cousin to Nick Chubb. And it's like, well, you can see the lineage coming out of Cedartown. Maybe Kobe Pryor. That may be the kid's name. But at any rate, I'm going to have to go back to genealogy.com or something, make sure Rodale knows what he's talking about. But anyway, it's good that you can be tested like that defensively with a big back like that. We go back a few weeks ago when Tank Bigsby was able to test you like that, and that's good. You want to be challenged like that week to week, and you feel like that. Of course, we talked earlier last week how Region 5 4A, according to Max Preps and their power rankings, is the toughest 4A region in the state of Georgia. It falls behind the 7As and 6A schools, and so that's kudos to the Troup Tigers as far as how they're able to perform right now at 4-0 in the region.
Well, I would definitely say from top to bottom that is probably the most competitive. There's not really a bad team anywhere. I know some of these records like Central Carrollton 2-6, the Grange 1-7. That sounds bad, but they're not. When you watch them play, they're not bad football teams. Mm-hmm. And so from top to bottom, there's a lot of parity. Mm-hmm. A lot of teams can come get you. I think the strength of the region will still be determined through the playoffs. So you can't really say
that's a good point.
I think the top half has got to go out and perform well in the playoffs because I think all four of us, or maybe 3 out of 4, made it to the second round last year and then got bounced in the second round.
Okay.
Cartersville went out, we went out, and Cedartown went out. So I don't think we can sit here and say we've got the toughest region until we do something in the playoffs.
That's a good point.
But I will say the parity from top to bottom is really, really strong.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, as we talk about records and what have you, Cartersville sitting on top of the region 5-0. They're 9-0 overall. Tigers are coming in second in the region 4-0, 8-0 overall. And we're at Central this week. Cartersville is open, so you only can imagine where their coaches will be this Friday night. And of course, the Tigers next week will be at Cartersville. Got to travel up to Cartersville. Sandy Creek is at Cedartown this week, and then they'll finish out their season with Central next week. And then you've got Cedartown, Sandy Creek this week, and then they'll go to Chapel Hill. So the bottom third and fourth, we've already secured second place, so we're really fighting for second and first.
And that Cedartown Sandy Creek game is for a playoff spot. So somebody's probably going to get bounced in that one right there, and somebody's going to punch their ticket. Mm-hmm. Possibly both of those could get into the playoffs, depending on what happens with Chapel Hill, LaGrange. Right. But I would keep my eye on that Cedartown, Sandy Creek to see who's getting that 2-3. That 3-4 seed.
Right. So it's going to be interesting this week, and then, of course, the next week as far as to finalize the region alignment into the playoffs and what have you. But just going over that. So we get back to the Cedartown game, and we reacted very well. We responded very well when we talk about going down 7-0. The Tigers came back within just about 4 minutes, and wound up after they missed a PAT. We come back, score a touchdown, and grab our halftime lead at 7-6. And of course, I'm texting folks, and they're like, "Whoa, why? We should." Well, it's because of the defense we just talked about. Cedartown's a good ball team. then you guys came out in the third quarter. When I noticed what you were doing in the third quarter, it was like you were going to two and three on either side as far as your offensive set. And what would be the strategy in something like that?
Well, what those guys were doing, they were doing a really good job defensively of bailing their safeties out over the top. So they had two high safeties, and they were bailing, trying to keep everything in front of them, saying you're not going to throw the ball deep. They were playing a lot of our fast screens and flats and stuff. They were playing that pretty well, and then bringing in a lot of stuff, Mike gut type pressure stuff up in the middle, and leaving a large amount of the middle of the field open, and we didn't do a very good job of getting Kobe prepared to handle that pressure in his face and still make those throws in the middle. And there was a couple times where we had the right look, and for whatever reason he got flushed out of the pocket, and we didn't handle the pressure really well. And so that was a large part of it. But all in all, it wasn't as bad as it appeared.
Right. And so when you see that they're, because I know one time I want to say they're number 2 or either they're number 5, and I don't know their names, but he was out wide defensive left end. He kind of just walked around, and he was going to blitz in between our guard and center, and it was offsides, and like they were anticipating. So when you see that they're trying to do that offensively, do you just kind of hold your snap count back?
Yeah,
or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean that's easy for us to do. We do that a lot, and we call it freeze. We'll freeze them and check with me type deal, and they'll check over there and get with Coach Holt and kind of see what they want to do at that point. But just little things like that, changing that snap count up, we kind of keep them all balanced a little bit. We probably should have done a little bit more of that.
Okay. Jarrell Smith came through for you on a couple of third down connections. It was one of the long one that we really needed, and Kobe connected with him. And Jarrell is all year long been one of those guys that he's just quietly effective. Right. And you remember in Harris County he walked the sidelines, and even the week before then. And so kind of proud of him, and I know Coach Smith is as well.
And that's his personality. He's a quiet kid. He just kind of goes about his business, and but we're lucky to have him. He is really a big part of what we try to do. And he dropped one pass over there on the sideline, the same type of throw that you're talking about a 15 to 18-yard throw. It hit him right in the chest, and you don't see him drop many of those.
It just hit him in a bad spot.
But you just –
it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we went right back to him later on, but he is, really lucky to have Jarrell.
I noticed that, guys that aren't aware about Joko Willis's role on the team last year, he's there at outside linebacker, I think, and you came in the offseason and said, wow, the kid's got hands and we're good on defense. We're going to get him a little more. And I thought when we first started the year, you had actually planned on doing him a little both. And as it's panned out, as the years come along, he's been mostly your offensive guy.
He has been. That was by design early in the season when it's so hot. We want to try to get as many people not having to go both ways as we can, and we've been fortunate up until this point with injuries and to keep guys out of the heat, so to speak. And so you might see a little bit of that going forward now that the weather's cooled down a little bit, and trying to get more of those guys going both ways if we have to. But right now it's worked out for us, and we'll see what happens.
Speaking of getting some guys some reps, I'm on the sidelines, and I'm kind of peering at – we're on defense, and I thought, wow, how tall is Makuda?
6'4".
And so Royce White, if he's not 6'4", he's 6'3", because I'm standing him.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, and Royce is a sophomore. And I thought, man, if he gets in that weight room this year, he's going to be a beast next year.
And he's been in the weight room, and he's being very productive. He's probably one of our better defensive lineman technique wise at the moment, and so we're just glad to have him. He's rangy as well. He has a good wingspan, and so Royce has really, really played well for a sophomore.
I know it's kind of premature right now, a little bit early. We can talk about this into the playoffs, but as you always got to be thinking about next year, whether it's the first game of the season or the 15th game.
Right.
And you've done a really fantastic job at rolling your guys in, not wholesale rolling them in, but individually rolling them in, getting them some snaps with the number ones, whether on offense or defense. And Royce is one of those guys that he's come on in a big way, because let's face it, next year, when you think about your defense and offensive line, really particularly, you got a lot of seniors on there. We had 25 seniors senior night last
and that's
Friday night.
And that's the kind of number we want to stick around that number year in and year out. And that's when your program is alive and is healthy. And those where you really get in trouble is you start having those numbers down in the teens and certain things like that.
That's a good point.
And we had that when I first got here, and we had to create a little depth and get some kids out playing ball. And so, but a lot of those sophomores like Jordan Adams, Royce White, Zy Varner, People forget that Jace Godwin's just a sophomore.
You know,
so those guys will be just fine stepping in, taking some of those leadership roles. And there's some younger guys that hadn't really had a lot of playing time, like Xavier Clark and those type of guys that Jabraylon Gooden, who's a junior. And
I
really
like
good.
the way Jabraylon plays, especially on special teams. He's really there in the mix most every week.
Yeah, so I think we're in pretty good hands.
I tend to agree with you. All right, with that being said, we're listening to the Troup High Coaches Show here live from Johnny's Pizza on Eagle Sports. We'll be right back.
Deciding to sell or buy a home is a big step. To make sure it's the step in the right direction, choose the person best qualified to handle your real estate needs. Joel and Rob Upchurch have been breaking sales records every year since 1997. They truly are the real estate leaders in West Georgia. So take a step in the right direction. Contact Joel or Rob Upchurch at RE/MAX Results because they are dedicated to results and converting transactions into relationships.
Hey folks, T-O-double-D, Todd Parrish here with Kia LaGrange. This October we're going pinks for breast cancer awareness. For each new car sold, we'll be donating a portion of our sales to Hope for a Day. This month's featured vehicle is a 2019 Kia Forte FE 6-speed. And yep, it's a rule breaker, a limit pusher. It's style and value rolled into fun. Drive out in yours today for only $15,988. Shop our complete inventory at any time online at KiaLaGrange.com. Help support your local economy.
Stock number 110922. Price plus tax, tag, and title. See Kia LaGrange for complete details.
Calling all area coaches, high school coaches, travel ball coaches, and more. Mud Creek Graphics is now selling sporting goods like Wilson, DeMarini, Louisville Slugger, Rawlings, and Russell for travel teams, football, baseball, basketball, soccer, and more. For more information, call Mud Creek Graphics at 706-884-5592. Mud Creek's for all your sporting good needs.
There's a storm coming. We may not know its path, but your independent auto owner's insurance agent knows. No matter what happens, we'll be there when you need us most. Strong through every storm. That's how it's been for our first 100 years, and how it will be for generations to come.
Mallory Agency at MalloryAgency.com. For all your insurance needs, it's the Mallory Agency.
Now back to the Coach's Corner live at Johnny's New York Style Pizza on Eagle 102.3, WLAG 96.9 FM, 1240 AM, and online at eagle1023.com.
Hey, Coach, while you were gone, I hope you don't mind, but I was answering some of your text messages for you. I saw several college coaches checking on you. I just hope you don't mind. I gave them some information.
You got a few of them we need to check up on.
Oh, man, we're live here at Johnny's Pizza enjoying ourselves. Got a good crowd ahead tonight. You guys come on out and join us. Immediately following us, LaGrange Grangers will be there. Jack Mormer will be hosting it for the third. He's making some money tonight. I expect him to buy a round when we get out of here. He's doing good. Right, Jack? I'm all for that now. I'm all for some milkshake. And some Krispy Kreme donuts. That's what I'm talking about. That's been something for years. When we go out of town, we're gonna come back in. We're gonna get us some milkshake on the way. And if there's a Krispy Kreme locally, buddy, we're gonna come back with a sugar high. I promise you. My wife said one day Tony Walls and I were going to Buford and calling a game, and we came back and we found a Krispy Kreme. And so he got a dozen, I got a dozen. You didn't hear anything, and that's a miracle out of me and Tony. When you get us to shut up, it must have been a dozen Krispy Kreme. My wife said it's amazing you didn't have a dadgum sugar attack or something. And I said, well, a coma. But we were lucky on that. Anyway, hey, what a fantastic senior night. We had a great crowd. Thank goodness to the Tiger Nation.
Absolutely.
You asked them.
Yes.
They responded. And wow, I mean, tons of seniors, not just the football team, the cheerleaders, the band. It was really, really nice to see.
Well, when you stop and think about it, the football game is a lot for a lot of people. It's not just football.
That's
right.
Know,
when you talk, and I'm going to leave somebody out anytime I start naming groups, but football team, the cheerleaders, the band, auxiliary. I don't know if they had any fall sports there like softball or whatever. But
I didn't see the fall softball, but had the competition cheer and the cheerleaders and the band and the football team.
So, I mean, that's, the whole, Friday night type deal, the high school experience, and it was just great to have everybody in the stadium. And I thought it was well-deserved for our seniors as well as the others from other sports. And you think about the band members and everybody, they've been with us for 3 or 4 years too.
Absolutely.
Now. And so it's not just our guys, and so we're just excited to celebrate with them.
And kudos to Johnny Hurd and the band, and I want to say they did a wonderful job and have had all year long. And I as I'm walking the sidelines for you guys and doing the color with Jack on the radio, and I see the cheerleaders on either end, and Amelia Key and Carly Huddleston do a wonderful job, and I know there's one more, and I'd love to talk to her, and I just don't know her name, and I'm sure she'll forgive me. But Miss Cawthon up front's also listening to us on the radio. She's on the sidelines listening to us on the radio. She says, "Why are you delayed?" So there's some, it was kind of fun, but a lot of people there, and it's just nice to know that there's some mementos that the senior football players will be able to take with them, and they'll look back and they'll say, hey, their senior season is something that they'll always treasure as they look back. And speaking of senior seasons and accomplishments, hey, we want to congratulate the girls volleyball team.
Absolutely.
They're going to be up in Marist tomorrow. That's right.
Yep.
I want to say it's Anna Mormon, but I can't say her last name. It's not Mormon anymore, is it? Andrews, double A. If her middle name was something A, she'd be a triple A. But she's just a double A right now. But anyway, Troup High, keep going. The volleyball team will be playing Marist tomorrow, and that will be no easy task to win that ball game.
That's right, in the Sweet 16.
That's right.
And so kudos to those girls. They're out there practicing hard almost every day in the gym. And I really like volleyball. Lanier has started playing this year with the rec and everything, and that's just a fun sport, And so good luck to those girls. Excited for them to go on the road at Marist. I'm sure it's going to be a tall task going up there to their place.
No pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
tall task.
That's right, tall task.
Okay, just checking.
And so, but good luck to them. I know
Absolutely.
They're well prepared, so hopefully they can go up there and take care of business.
I'm with you. So, again, all in all, a good senior night and a good crowd. Again, Cedartown, it took them a little bit but they actually brought a good crowd as well. But you just got to thank the Tiger Nation. This is our last regular season home game. Everybody said, this is our last game at Callaway Stadium. I said, oh, no, we got one more at least.
At least one more.
At least one more.
Yep.
And it depending on the outcome, Friday night against Central LaCarroll. And then, of course, obviously the next Friday, we certainly are hoping for a victory, and it'll propel us into a 9-0 and 9-0 team going to Cartersville for the region championship. It'll be for the region championship either way you look at it, but it'd be nice to go in there undefeated.
Sure,
well.
Absolutely. I think that's probably a game that a lot of people, media, and people in the community have pointed at for a long time, but we have some business to take care of with Central Carrollton, who is really, really well coached. Mm-hmm. Coach Smiley and his guys do a great job. A lot of wing tee type stuff, so things we hadn't seen a lot of this year, and so we have a work cut out for us.
Well, speaking of Central, they come into the Friday night's contest 1-3 in the region, 2-6 overall. So, knowing that they're well coached, what kind of offensive scheme are they going to be running, and what should you look for?
Well, they will go a little bit more multiple as far as getting in the shotgun and doing some things. But if you think about wing tee, just your base wing tees type stuff, buck sweep, belly, trap, waggle, that kind of stuff. Very similar to probably what LaGrange did over the years.
So they're basically a wing tee offense for the most part.
Under center permits.
So I've always associated a good high school wing tee with kind of a smaller offensive line. I mean, you don't typically see 280-pound tackles in at the offensive line on the wing tee offense.
Well, with this group, their offensive line is pretty big, and they are really, really good. Now, I don't know that they quite have the overall team speed that some of the teams in this region have at the skill positions, but up front in the box, they are really good, especially on the offensive line.
Okay.
And so it's not your typical, kind of reminds me of probably somebody like Camden County or Lowndes running the wing tee.
Okay.
They have a little bit bigger linemen.
That's true.
A lot of us used to run the wing tee or split back veer and stuff because we had the smaller linemen and had to kind of be creative with them and provide angles and certain things. But
that's true.
These guys are pretty well fed.
Okay. As far as defensively, when your offense comes out on the field, what can they expect to see from their defense?
Well, defensively, they do a really good job rallying to the football. They'll mix it up, multiple coverages, in the secondary. They're trying to keep a lot of things in front of them. There again, I think their overall team speed may play a little bit into our advantage. So typically when you have that, you want to box people in and try to keep all the throws up under you.
Okay.
And so we'll probably see a lot of that on Friday. I don't know that we'll see as much pressure as we saw the last 2 weeks, but we could.
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully we're better prepared to handle it if we do see it.
Well, you guys, exciting time for the Troup High Tigers. 8-0, and can we say this is it's 2 years in a row we've been 8-0 in the regular season. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So that's exciting, and hopefully not to, but if we come out victorious, we might have a little record for Troup High School.
Yeah, no Troup team has ever been 9-0.
So that's certainly something
to play for.
That's right.
And somebody sent me a pretty good stat, and I'm gonna have to double check it to make sure it's accurate. But somebody sent me one today that said no 3-year period of Troup football have we had 8+ wins.
Okay.
For 3 consecutive years.
That's wonderful.
So that's good, and kudos to these guys and the administration and the people that make it possible. Because as long as people in the school and the booster people and our parents, as long as they make this a priority, then we should continue to have some good success.
Okay. Well, we're excited about that, and we hope that we have continued success Friday night in Carrollton. So you guys, Tiger Nation, come on, man, show up. It's going to be another exciting time. Come up to Central High School there in Carrollton. It's kind of like you take a right there at the Home Depot, and the school's just right there on the right. Beautiful facility. They've got turf and nice lot of stands on the visitor side, nice accommodating press box on the home side. So we're excited about it. I know they'll treat us all right. They've got as far as a band, if you love to see the band, they've always had a really, really good band. So you guys come on up Friday night. It will be our fourth region game, if I'm not our fifth region game against Central of Carroll. You guys come on up Friday night. It's only about 40 miles up the road, so let's go. Let's turn out for the Tigers, and let's cheer them on and see if we can find that 9-0 for the first time in Tiger history. Hey, with that, I'm your host, Greg Hicks, along with head coach Tanner Glisson. You've been listening to the Troup High Coaches Show here live from Johnny's Pizza on Eagle Sports. We'll see you guys next week. Go Tigers.